Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to practice yoga for the hips and thighs, and for this practice 1 or 2 blocks would be great. You can also use a book or a blanket, whatever it is, and then we're going to start in a seat. So perhaps elevating the hips with your block as you find an upright seated position. Taking a moment to check in with yourself and to just notice how you feel in this very moment. Sometimes when we go about our day without really listening to the body, to the mind, some things can go unnoticed. And we're just observing, just taking note of what's there. We're not judging or casting any connotation whatsoever. Here I invite you then to connect to the breath for a moment as you just breathe in and out. Take a final breath in and a final breath out. All right, we're gonna take our first pose, but before that, maybe just extend those legs for a moment because we will be cross-legged for the next position. So finding a cross-legged seat, you could bring the knees further apart or bring the shins more parallel and the knees sort of at hip height, whatever works for you. Left leg in front, and then maybe building a little tower with some blocks for the forehead, placing the arms in a comfortable way. Just find what works for you. You could also elevate the hips to give yourself a bit of leverage. And in yin, we fold. We don't pull the body forwards. We really give in to gravity and allow it to pull us at our first barrier. And we do not cross that until the body is ready. So take a moment as you get started here to really check in and see if that's an okay position to be in. Perhaps the knees are uncomfortable, the sit bones are uncomfortable, you'd like something underneath the forehead, or you'd like to let the forehead hang, whatever it is, know that you can always change something, you can always make it your own. We really want to do less. So that's the main goal, the main motive that we have in yin. Less is more. And as you're sitting and folding here, if you have a block underneath the forehead, it's possible that the body might be ready to move a bit deeper, and you could always play and see if you want to change anything about this setup. Not to go deeper, but just to see if your connective tissue invites you to come closer to the ground. Let's take 3 final rounds of breath in and out. And then coming back upright, finding your way back up. Maybe you want to move in any way or extend those legs, lie back down. Whatever it is for your rebound, go for it. And then our next pose is deer pose. So we're going to keep the left leg out in front and then left knee kind of at a 90-degree angle-ish. And then bringing the right leg to our side, right thigh roughly at hip width distance. You could play with pulling your heels more towards the body or keep the knees at a 90-degree angle. And then maybe you want to fold over that left leg. It's technically not a forward fold, but you can just prop yourself up on forearms, perhaps. Once again, something underneath the forehead might be nice. Or you could also stay upright, then this would target more the back leg, whereas leaning forward would mean putting more pressure and perhaps a deeper sensation on the front leg. Noticing if you're holding any tension in the body and perhaps allowing that tension to release. Where can you notice the breath in the body? And taking 3 final rounds of breath here. And then gently guiding your way out of the pose. Once again, find that rebound that works for you. Notice how you're feeling. Maybe you notice something between the left and right side of the body. And then let's take this to the other side. So we're going to start with our cross-legged fold, this time right leg out in front. Make any preparations that you'd like to do. Find a crossing that works and then allow that torso to lean over the crossed legs. Know that our hips tend to be asymmetrical, so it doesn't mean that the same pose that you took before is going to work for you or the exact same setup is going to work for you. So explore this as if it were the first time that you went into this pose. Allowing the face to relax, shoulders relax. Soften wherever feels possible and wherever you might notice some tension, some residue tension from the past moments, past hours. Perhaps you want to again make some changes in your setup. Maybe see if there is more space to come to the ground without expecting it or putting any value in whether or not that's possible. And then let's take 3 final breaths in and out. And then, like in slow motion, I invite you to make your way back into a seat and find what feels good. Finding our deer on the right side. So, right leg out in front, left leg facing back, 90-degree angle in the knees, or heels closer in. Maybe lean forward, maybe stay upright. Explore and see what your body feels like doing today. Sometimes we go into this default, something that we might have done in the past, so that's just always how we do deer pose. So maybe you'd like to try something else, or perhaps find a pose that's familiar. That's also perfectly fine. Where in the body can you notice the pose? Where can you sense your connective tissue opening and stretching? Three final rounds of breath. And then making your way up into a seat, and choose once again your rebound. We're eventually going to come onto the back. Perhaps you'd like to keep one block by you. Maybe you'd like to hug the knees into the chest as you just get acquainted with lying on your back for a moment. And then for figure 4 on your back, putting the right foot down and left shin on top of right thigh, and then tilting your pelvis to the right, allowing the left foot to come towards the ground, or perhaps place it on a block so that the left knee can face towards the sky. You can open your arms in a T. You could bring that right hand towards the left ankle, whatever works. And if the twist doesn't feel right, then you can always come back onto the back, either hug the right thigh into the chest or just keep that right foot grounded. All different poses, different shapes, nothing to do with being advanced or a beginner. Because in yin, we really do take the time to get to know our body, and our connective tissue in particular is incredibly unique. Our anatomy is unique. So that's why all of our practices are going to look different, and that's perfectly fine. In fact, it's great. 2 more rounds of breath here. And then gradually finding your way to center. Take a moment to pause. And then we're going to switch sides. So right shin on top of left thigh, and maybe find your twist again, maybe with a block, maybe without. Or stay on your back, maybe hug that left thigh in. Choose what feels right for you today. Know that you can also always make changes during the pose. You're not stuck. You don't have to endure anything that doesn't feel right. You have the agency and the possibility to take control of your own practice. Two final rounds of breath in and out. And then slowly coming back to center. Maybe you'd like to move, or maybe you want to find final moments of rest and stillness in your version of Shavasana. Slowly, I invite you to deepen the breath, to come back into the room as you start moving hands and feet. Maybe stretch arms overhead, maybe legs towards the sky, moving the ankles. Maybe rolling onto your favorite side and finding a final seat. Just checking in. How do you feel now? Where can you sense the breath? And then, if you like, bringing the hands together in front of the heart as you bow the chin to chest as a humble gesture of gratitude. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your practice. I hope that this practice nourished your body and gave you whatever it was that you needed. I'd really appreciate a like, a comment. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. And if you want to explore more videos like this, check out my online yoga studio. The link is down in the description box. Check it out 7 days for free. Thank you so much. Take care and see you soon.